I'm going to share with you how I've been able to exponentially increase how much I earn on YouTube every single month. And it's helped propel me from earning $500 my first month on YouTube to earning over $10,000 a month within 1 year. You don't want to miss this video. Now, the thing I think you need to realize is that to really grow on YouTube, you have to understand how the YouTube algorithm works and focus most of your time on getting recommended by YouTube. Yes, there's a lot of other things you can do that is offsite in terms of trying to build your audience base, but I can tell you right now, the biggest X factor that determines your growth and how much money you earn is how well you are able to play to that algorithm. And you've already heard the two most important things that would define your video's reach is your click-through rate and the watch time. But the other thing I think that people tend to miss out on is understanding the content strategy you use, because the category you're in, the trends you jump on top of, and the topics you cover has a massive impact in terms of audience reach. So let's go over some of these things here, right? Now, when it comes to content category, you hear it explained a lot of different ways. It could be like your niche, it could be a topic, it could be a trend, and they all kind of get jumbled in a way that sounds like they're kind of the same, but they kind of aren't. Like, is ASMR a trend or is it a niche? Are mukbang videos, as an example, a trend or topic or a niche? So what I'm going to do right now is break down some of these definitions and try to segment them a little bit further and help you understand how you drill down to focus on what you need to do to grow. So first off is content category / niche. To me, this is a very broad category. In fact, when you post YouTube videos, you can actually pick what type of category you want your videos to go into. Now, supposedly that actually doesn't have a dramatic effect in terms of where your videos get promoted to, mainly because what YouTube has said is that most people never do it properly, but it gives you a general idea of how they think of categorization. So there's a category for film and animation, a category for gaming, how-to videos, education, entertainment. Although I would say there's a couple of categories I feel like they should have that they don't, as an example, like food, definitely something they don't have. So these are very broad. Let's take an example like gaming, right? You want to be able to say, like, I cover the gaming niche and try to focus as much as your effort on that particular niche. Now, I would say that understanding what a gamer likes means that you don't actually have to cover just gaming. You can cover things that most gamers are interested in, like, for instance, geek-oriented movies, like superhero movies, and potentially anime has a high crossover as well. The way I think about it is more like, what is your target market, right? In other words, what demographic are you going after, and what are their general levels of interest around different things? And there's a high level crossover around different types of topics. Now, the second thing to be mindful of is the trend. Now, when I say trend, I try to define in a way as something that is happening right now. Like, it's hot of this moment. Now, of this moment could, of course, be very, very broad. It could be today. It could be this week. It could be a year-long trend. We've seen trends with different challenges, as an example, that could last a couple of months. And we see trends where a new album for, like, say, a popular rock band just came out, and that could last a week or so. The whole idea is to be able to define a trend as something that is relevant for just a period of time. And so, like, in the gaming space, I would say a trend could be something like Fortnite. And even though Fortnite is one of those games that is perennial and that there is no end to playing the game, it could be a very long trend. And as of right now, we know that Fortnite is hot, so it could extend for another year or two before it starts to really wane, in which case another game might come along and supplant it. So jumping on the trend when it's starting to build up is a lot better than jumping on a trend when it's already on its way out. In fact, if you're able to jump on a trend very, very early on, it could be a huge difference in terms of how fast you grow. I've even seen a big difference in terms of how a couple of hours can make a huge difference in terms of doing a reaction to a movie trailer that has just dropped. If I'm able to get a reaction out within that first hour after that movie trailer drops, it's a difference between tens of thousands of views versus hundreds of views if I waited a couple of hours versus even just waiting one whole day. And that's because when people are hyped on a trend, they're looking for other people who are hyped on that trend as well. They're reading through the comments, they're looking for reaction videos, they're looking for commentary, anything that helps continue that high they have of being first on that trend. So jumping on it early, absolutely key. And the third piece of that equation is the topic. Now, when I say topic, I'm talking about very specific things that your video is about. Let's say for Fortnite, there's new seasons that are coming out all the time. So if you made a video about what you anticipate for the next season and the top 5 things you're looking forward to most, that is a very specific topic. Or you could say, well, these are my favorite guns. These are how to use them and how to win games with them. Well, that's a very specific topic. Now, the best way to go about determining what type of topics are hot for you isn't the one-off scenario. In other words, you may have one topic you cover that could get you 10 million views. The best scenario is a topic that you could repeat again and again and again so that there's a second, third, fourth version of that topic. So an example in Fortnite is be able to compile the best fails that you have and name it something that you could repeat over and over again in your title. Something like the top 10 Fortnite fails of the day. And people will come back to watch that again for the next day, for the next batch, and the next batch. Now, it's already probably too late to do something specifically around fails, but you could do fun variants of it, which is like my biggest fails or the funniest things I've seen in Fortnite. Like this sort of compilation then allows you to hone in on very specific topics that can be repeated for success, especially if you know it works well. So when you combine the thinking around your niche and the trends and the topic, that is where the holy grail is for being able to make a lot of money. Because just chasing a trend or something that's viral may give you a one-time pop. Like even a video that gives you 1 million views may generate a couple of $1,000s for you. But to turn YouTube into a sustainable career, you need to have 1 million some views every single week. Otherwise, you're always going to feel like you're struggling to not just make money, but also come up with fresh new ideas every single day. So let me give you an example of how the type of niche that you're in and what you cover can have such a big difference in how much money you earn. Now, there's another YouTuber out there that goes by Silicon Valley Gal, and she has 3 different channels that are going on right now. One is a tech channel primarily about, well, Silicon Valley. She also has another channel where she's teaching English to a lot of different foreigners. And the third one is a Russian vlog because she originally was from Russia and she speaks Russian very fluently as well. Now she's revealed how much money she's earned for each of these channels. And I'll tell you, the disparity is huge. For instance, her Russian vlogs earn a CPM about $2.71. CPM being how much money she earns per 1,000 views. Now $2.71 is definitely on the lower end of the amount you would make. And it's mainly because the CPMs in Russia are very, very low. Her languages channel earns about $4.89. And that's because even though it's a very international audience, it pulls in people from countries that generally have high CPMs, like say Germany as an example. And of course, her videos that do the absolute best are her tech videos, which generate almost $10 in CPM. That is a lot of money, and that is because of 2 reasons. One is it covers the technology field, which generally commands a higher CPM. And second, she's covering things specifically in Silicon Valley, which is considered like the holy land of tech. And in fact, I've made videos about Silicon Valley, and I get very similar CPMs as well, very close to about $10 when I was covering the cost of living around Silicon Valley. So when you start to think of the different things you cover and what you want to dedicate your channel to, realize that how much you earn per different category makes a huge difference. Once I recognized all these different things and I really started to be mindful about trying to pick the right category, the right niche, jumping on the trends as fast as possible and thinking about really interesting topics, and then trying to stay in the safe zone of what makes money, that's when my earnings really started to take off. And I would like to be able to say like, it's all because of me and because of, how awesome I am. But no, I think it has a lot to do with how the YouTube algorithm recognizes the kind of content it wants to see, how it aggressively then promotes that content around its network.